In this edition of the EDGA podcast, we meet Rob Walden of Arizona. Rob was in a dark place in 2016, but golf was a major factor in his rehabilitation. His beaming smile and positivity is infectious, and his opinions will brighten any golfer's day. 7 years ago, I would never have dreamed this would be happening, said Rob Walden, a scratch golfer who lives near Phoenix, Arizona. I had always loved golf, but I wouldn't be anywhere near where I've got to without the support of Julie and my son Jake after the accident. And golf was so important as part of my rehabilitation. Rob adds, "Golf gives me endless joy and focus and a goal to show others that no matter what life throws at you, with a positive attitude, you can persevere through anything."
I say this, and it's true to this day right now. Every time I hit a golf ball, the nerve endings in the tip of my fingers fire off. So it really feels like somebody's hitting my hand with a hammer. And literally every single time, my right hand hurts when I make contact with the ball.
Does this pain put Rob off playing golf? Not at all. It redoubles his efforts and he feels his accident could have been far worse. He is truly thankful to be able to enjoy and be inspired by golf. In fact, the 51-year-old from the city of Mesa tells us he has a lot of people to thank. While following his recent debut on the prestigious G4D Tour in Singapore, featuring an 18,000-mile round trip from Rob's front door, he is finding that a lot of people are also thanking him for being a great ambassador for golf in the US. Rob's presence at that tournament with fellow golfers with a disability helped to demonstrate how golf can offer new competitive horizons for people who have faced injury or illness. Rob Walden took up golf aged 11 and had become an accomplished amateur golfer as an adult, playing off a handicap of 2, loving playing on his days off from working as a project manager for a construction company in Phoenix. It was in 2016 when he faced a major setback in his life, losing most of the 4 fingers on his right hand in an accident with a model aeroplane, his hand caught by the 32-inch propeller. It was a huge shock to the family and chilling that the injury could easily have been more damaging. Rob and wife Julie worked hard together to ensure his physical recovery, but also that he stayed mentally strong.
You know, it was really hard to deal with it at first because, you know, my right hand, it's my dominant hand. And so, you know, you can see here, you know, when the injury first happened, when I looked down, all I saw was all of my fingers gone. You know, at first I thought, man, I don't even have nubs left. It was definitely surreal that it happened. You know, I've been doing model airplanes for over 20 years. This is the first incident that I've ever had with them. And so it was pretty shocking. But instantly, like the day of, actually right there at my house where I had the injury, my wife, the first thing she said was, we're going to get through this and you're going to be okay. You know, I was apologizing. You know, I'm sorry I did this. I can't believe it. I just ruined our life. And, you know, because we were just starting out, I had a young son. And instantly, like the first words out of her mouth was, we're okay. We're going to get through this. And so, you know, that made all of the rough times ahead a lot easier to deal with, knowing that I had her support and she was in my corner. You know, so once the surgeon came in and did the surgery that night, when I woke up and I saw that I had some nubs left, you know, on my first 2 fingers, he was able to save those. That was huge to me because I knew right then and there that I could grip, and I was fine from that point on. Right, it didn't kill me. The propeller didn't get into my face, so I knew that from there forward that, you know, we were going to be okay.
Thoughts about playing again helped here a lot. Rob used his golfing hopes, both the practical and the pipe dream ideas, to stay positive. After initial treatment and recovery lasting 10 months, Rob started to think about and take the first steps in rebuilding his golf game during rehabilitation, and he was practicing and playing seriously again around the end of 2018. Not only did he find a new swing with his left arm now dominant, in time he actually improved his golf handicap to at one point plus 2.3, before more recently playing off around scratch at 0.2, still able to propel his best tee shots more than 300 yards. Rob Walden was now well and truly back in the game. Today, though he loves the competitive side of his golf, of course, Rob has been a volunteer coach in Phoenix's First Tee program in recent times, supporting new young golfers as they take up the sport.
You know what? So at the time I was heavily involved with the First Tee, like I've said, wanting to be a role model for those kids. We always talk about adversity in our, in the classes and stuff when we're talking to our kids and stuff in those classes. And so this was my opportunity to really show them, hey, you know what? Life just threw me a big curveball, and I can either let it destroy me or I can show the positive that could come out of this. So it was a huge driving force for me to get back out there, to play golf, to show, all of these members of the First Tee of Phoenix that you can do anything that you want to put your mind to it. As long as you have a positive attitude, you can move forward in a positive way.
As Rob says, every time he hits a golf ball, he experiences pain in his damaged hand. This only adds to his desire to practice in the right way to get better and play smarter. Every good shot, every time he puts the ball in play, he saves himself shots, which of course would give him that additional pain.
I say this, and it's true to this day right now. Every time I hit a golf ball, the nerve endings in the tip of my fingers fire off. So it really feels like somebody's hitting my hand with a hammer. Literally every single time, my right hand hurts when I make contact with the ball. And so there were a lot of hours. We changed up a lot of equipment, grips. Ping was fantastic. They didn't know me from Adam, 2 years ago. They invited me down when they heard about my injury. And we tried to change different shafts around and different grip configurations. So it's really been awesome to, have them step up and help me. But it was a lot of effort on the range. And it was, it made me a better golfer because I think that I don't want the pain. So when I chunk a shot really bad, it is extremely painful. And so I don't want that pain. So I think I concentrate a little bit more. I'm a little bit more deliberate about how I'm playing golf. And I think that's what's really helped me out. So there's a lot of hours on the range hitting the golf ball.
2 or 3 years ago, Rob learned about playing in G4D events in the States, a considerable boost to his competitive aspirations. He thanks all his friends, including the members and staff at his home course at Lone Tree Golf Club in Chandler, Arizona, for helping him find the on-course confidence that would eventually lead to a remarkable season in 2022. Notable results saw Rob become overall champion in the El Conquistador Championship in Arizona, 4th place overall in the USDGA US Championship in Virginia and the category winner, while he enjoyed 17th place in the USGA's US Adaptive Open at Pinehurst and 3rd place overall in the NAGA Championship in Florida, and he was winner of his own division. This form led him to rise rapidly up the world ranking for golfers with disability, WR4GD, to 22nd place in the world, eventually earning him his debut on the G4D Tour on February the 6th at Laguna National Golf Resort Club in Singapore. The WR4GD, initially developed by EDGA, ensures that leading players, wherever they are in the world, have the opportunity to qualify for the big competitions through their position in the gross ranking. Meanwhile, EDGA's partnership with the DP World Tour led to the tour creating the G4D Tour, a landmark shift for golfers with a disability. In 2023, 8 G4D Tour events are being staged alongside the famous DP World Tour tournaments, where each time 10 golfers compete in the same weeks and on the same courses as the household names in professional golf. The players qualify through the ranking by playing EDGA staged or EDGA supportive events worldwide. EDGA is delighted that players from 5 different continents have competed on the G4D Tour over the last 2 years. For Rob, a golfer who had never left the United States before, he was now jetting off across the world to play in the G4D Tour Singapore Classic in February. The travel there was a little grueling for him in a 26-hour flight, with the change in time zones and fatigue all playing a part, but Rob embraced the whole experience from the start.
So I literally forwarded the voicemail that Scott had left me to my wife. And I said, I don't know if this is a a joke or what, but I think I'm getting invited to go play, in the G4D event. And I was just super, super excited. It took me a little bit to try to figure out the European phone number system and stuff to be able to get back to him. I was sending him emails. Yes, 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 I want to go. And I was just hoping that I got back to him in time to, secure my spot there. And sure enough, I did. And it was just, it was awesome. Definitely awesome. I've never golfed overseas. I've never really traveled overseas or anything like that. And so that was all a new experience to me. And you go to a golf event, and I've been to the Phoenix Open, a dozen times, and you watch the tour players walking through, and they got their badges and all of that stuff. And it's awesome to go over there and your name's on the sheet to check in. Hi, Mr. Walden. How you doing, sir? Here's your credentials. This gets you carte blanche access to wherever you want to go. It doesn't matter if it's a hospitality area, on the putting green, the driving range. You are a tour player, and they treated you as such. It was a very humbling experience to be treated that way, first and foremost, as an adaptive golfer or a golfer in general, really. But I never thought I would be in that situation. 7 years ago, I worked too much, and so I wasn't able to take golf serious after high school and college, even though I really wanted to, but life got in the way. So to know that 2 years after I started this adaptive golf journey, that I'm sitting at a DP World event that I was invited to go play at was just an amazing experience. And I'm so grateful to the DP World Tour, for Scott at EDGA, who made that trip all possible and really put my mind at ease about traveling over to Singapore. Just super great guy, and just extremely grateful for the opportunity.
For England's Oliver Hurst-Greenham, it was also his first G4D Tour Championship in the steaming heat of Singapore. The players who qualify for each of these tournaments tend to form a bond due to the healthy respect they have for fellow golfers who play at such a high level with swings that must navigate an impairment. The Lancastrian Oliver supported Rob as he found his feet, and Rob says of Oliver,
"You know what, Bubba, as I call him, right? Super, super nice guy. I mean, one, he hits the ball a mile, so he stands about 5'8". I'm 6'4". He might be 5'9". Just blisters the ball down the fairway and stuff. And I'm just like, man, I just can't keep up with you, Bubba. You are just incredible. And as nice as the day is long, we had dinners together. We played a practice round together. He hung out with my wife and I, and just salt of the earth guy that definitely formed a lifelong friendship with him because of this event. And I look forward to him coming over to the States and hanging out and playing golf with us.
When talking about Rob, Oliver returns the compliment. He said, "It was a pleasure to get to meet Rob and Julie. We have stayed in contact after Singapore, and we regularly encourage and support each other to play well in tournaments. We will meet up again and play in the future for sure. Rob is a good friend and a great ambassador for our sport." Much of what Rob achieves seems to come from within. He is a thoughtful and generous man who always looks at the glass half full rather than half empty. But he couldn't do it all alone. He acknowledges a great team around him, including the McCarthy Building Companies in Phoenix, Arizona, where, when we spoke, he was poised for a full day's work ahead as a project manager.
Yes. So definitely, first and foremost, right, my wife, for all her love and support, and my son, Jake. This golf journey wouldn't be possible without them. I work for McCarthy Building Companies here in the United States, and they are just a fabulous company that really support me and my golf endeavors and stuff, and trying to bring adaptive golf awareness to those that don't know anything about it. Also, my home course, which is Lone Tree Golf Club in Chandler, Arizona, and Greg Avant, who's the owner there, has been super supportive this year and really given me some facilities and stuff to practice at. So I really appreciate that. And then my caddy at the USGA event, Eric Kalina, super good friend. and really appreciative of what he's done for me.
Following Singapore, Rob returned to play in the El Conquistador Championship in Tucson, Arizona in April and would win as overall champion. He finished 7th overall in the United States Disabled Golf Association Championship, while at the time of writing he was preparing to travel to Pennsylvania to play in the North American One-Arm Golf Association Championship. And he will be teeing it up in the USGA's second US Adaptive Open in July. The Canadian All Abilities Championship in September is another stop on this remarkable journey. Away from competition, Rob has also volunteered for the Special Olympics of Arizona several times recently. His own efforts in Singapore left many people delighted to see someone from his home state competing on the world stage. Rob said, "Hopefully, the coverage of these events back home and on the G4D Tour can shine a light for others, anyone with a disability, to show them that golf can be a great new sport that could be the perfect boost to their physical and mental health for years to come." Talking now with Rob, we ask a final question, a little philosophical one, about what golf means to him today. The man who is always quick to smile now beams, and there's a twinkle in his eye as he answers.
Golf's extremely important to me for a multitude of reasons. It shows me every time I go out and play that no matter what hand life dealt me, that I'm still out here and I'm still achieving my goals, and I'm proving to myself first and foremost that I can still play golf at a very high level, and that all the hard work and all the sweat and all the tears that I put in really mattered right now. Big picture wise, I think it really shows other people that know me with Special Olympics of Arizona, with the first tee of Phoenix, with my coworkers. Here's a guy that was dealt a difficult hand, literally hand, and I can joke about that. But, you just can't let life beat you down. And there's so many times, regardless if it's an accident, regardless if it's circumstance within a family, you just have to try to maintain a positive attitude and move forward. And I think that's one of the biggest things that I take away from this, is that I was in a dark place and I was able to come out of this because of love and support and having a positive attitude. And the people that I've met within the adaptive golf world are just amazing people. They inspire me every time I see them and I play with them and I talk to them. And if I can just inspire one other person that's dealing with some sort of adversity in their life, whether it's a limb loss, whether it's addiction, whether it's, a loss of a loved one or something, and just inspire them to get out and realize that there is so much more to this world than just to be feeling sorry for yourself or allow that circumstance to control your life, then everything that I do is definitely worth it. And I hope I can help those people out.
This EDGA podcast was written and narrated by Ben Evans, and the sound production was by Martin Maynard of Sounds Good. You can find more stories of people with a disability thriving through golf in the profiles section of the EDGA website at edgagolf.com, and you can contact members of our team through the website.